Okay, so what we're going to be graphing is actually something that looks like this. And instead of, like when we've graphed a line before, we shaded below it or above it with the inequality, but we're actually going to be making more of a shape, like a Goldilocks range, if you'll call it, of like the best case scenario. So moving down here to the first example, and if you're working off paper, you need to copy these down right here. And each one of these, I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use, for me, purple, blue, and green. You can choose 3 colors that work for you. So the first one, I'm going to use purple, and then this one I'll use blue, and then green. Okay, so each one of these we are going to be graphing or drawing on the graph. This first one is an inequality. It says -2 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to 6. So on the graph, I'm going to find x equals -2, which is right here, and draw a vertical line at -2. And then at 6 as well, I'm drawing a line at x equals 6. And then it says x is in between that, so at this point I'm just making a note that everything in between there is part of my solutions at this point. Then the next one, it says y is in between 1 and 5. So y equals 1 is right here. And now I'm going to do a horizontal line. And I'm doing a solid line because y is less than or equal to, so no dotted lines at this point. There's y equals 1, and then for y equals 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, at this point my solution is in between y equals 1 and y equals 5. So I'm going to lightly shade in this box at this point. I'm going to end up erasing some of it, so that's why I said lightly shade in with pencil, something that you can erase. And this box is going to get smaller. The third one I need to graph is right here. Y is less than or equal to x plus 3. Am I going too fast, or you guys? Okay. Okay. So y is less than or equal to x plus 3, so y-intercept is at 3. I'm going to graph this line. And then slope of 1. And this is my green line. Yes. Can you wait till after the lessons? I'm gonna make it green. Is that what you're asking? Yeah. Okay. So this line is my. Whoa! I scribbled. No. Okay. Okay. There's my green line. And then it says y is less than or equal to that line, so anything below that line is going to get colored in. And then this corner over here just gets erased. That's no longer part of the solutions.
What color do we shade it, or do you just...
I'm using pencil. You can do whatever you want. You shade it whatever color you want.
Is it like all portions below that line?
Well, all these work together. So it's satisfying all 3 of these. This box.
You're only shading the parts of the other two also.
You're right. Okay, now once we have this box from these three equations, what we're going to do is identify the corners of this shape. And these corners, we're going to put the coordinates up here in this chart. So this corner is at -2, 1. This corner is at 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six, 5, and then 6, 1. Okay, next step. So this function right here is also the function right here. We're going to take these coordinates and plug it into that expression. So I'm going to write it out like this. And then solve each one of them. So 12. And then once I have everything solved, then I identify a minimum and maximum. So minimum here would be at -28, and the maximum would be at 12.
So with the vertices, only be the parts where the lines
So once I had everything shaded in, it's the corners of whatever shape it makes. Sometimes it's a triangle like the example above, or a lot of times it's a quadrilateral. Okay, moving on. That's the process. Now we're just going to repeat it to practice it. So moving over here to the top. If you're working on paper, just jot down these right here. And I'm going to use the same colors, purple, then blue, then green. Purple, then blue, and then green. So for the first one, y has to be in between 3 and 6.
Is one of those blue?
Yeah, the middle one's like a light blue. Is that what you're asking?
Can you give us the equations, please?
No, the two arrows.
What's that?
Can you
Zoom.
Color block, the blue.
Okay, and then for the second one, y is less than or equal to 3x plus 9. So I'm just going to start by graphing that. If I go up 3 over 1, it doesn't fit on the graph, so I'm going to go down 3 over 1. Then y is less than that line, so it would be over here. Again, shading lightly, I'm going to need to erase some of that. Yes.
How do you determine if it's like with the left if you shade it up the right side?
Y is less than 3x plus 9, so I shaded under. And then for the next one, y-intercept is at 6. And then the slope is -3, so I'm going to go down 3 over 1.
Where's the intercept?
6. Okay, there's my green line. And for the green one, y is less than -3x plus 6, so the shading goes underneath the green line. So the overlap is just that little part. Okay, now that I have the shape, I'm identifying the corners of the shape, vertices of the shape. And then these coordinates are going to be my x, y in the chart. So -2, 3, -1, 6, 0, 6, and 1, 3. Now they took this last equation, they put it into this function table here. So we just plug it into that. And then solve these guys. -8 minus 6 would be -14. -4 minus 12, -16. -12 here. 4 minus 6 is -2. Okay, and then minimum would be your most negative numbers, so -16, and maximum would be -2. Okay, last example for today. Everybody got it? Okay. Now we're doing it one more time. I'm using the same colors, purple, blue, and green. The x is between 0 and 6. So making a line at 0. And in between 0 and 6, so this would go this way and this way. Then you staying hanging with us? You good? Okay. Then between 0 and 4 for y. So far, shaded part is in this rectangle, but we have one more line to graph. And then for the last one, y-intercepts at 8. And the slope is -2. And y is less than that line, so I'm going to erase anything that's above the line and shade in just in the box. Okay, last step, identify the corners, the vertices. Yeah. She already said one of them 0, 0, then 0, 4, 2, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 0. And then we plug it in. Then our minimum is 0, and our max is 32. That's it. So homework tonight is on Schoology. What I did for homework, because I know these are very long problems, is I didn't make it out of a question bank. And it's 6 questions, but it's the same 6 questions like over and over if you get something wrong. In order to get the 80% or higher, you do have to get 5 out of 6 correct, because normally it's 4 out of 5. But 5 out of 6 correct would give you at least like an 83, and then I'll make that full credit. But if you get 4 out of 6, it comes out to like 67-ish. So make sure that you keep doing it until you get at least your 8 out of 10. If you need to graph on the questions, some of them you might be able to figure out without graphing because it's multiple choice. But if you need to graph, I do have graph paper up here. Also, there's a bunch of graphs over here for tomorrow. If you wanted to like graph in pencil and then erase it, so that way you can figure out your homework questions, that would work as well. But I have graph paper up here, or you could use this. Use a laptop, please. So take a laptop to your seat, get logged on to the